Our story begins long before the Trojan War, in an age shrouded in myth and legend, when the world was still young and the gods walked among mortals. It was a time of great upheaval, when a cataclysmic flood sent by the gods themselves swept across the earth. This deluge was not merely a natural disaster, but a divine act meant to cleanse the world of its corruption and to offer humanity a chance to begin anew. Amid the devastation and chaos, as entire civilizations vanished beneath the waves, one man survived against all odds. Dardanos, the son of Zeus and the nymph Electra, clung to life on a makeshift raft, guided by fate and the will of the gods. After days adrift on the endless waters, he finally reached the distant shores of Phrygia in Asia Minor, exhausted but alive, carrying with him the hope of a new beginning. Alone and without a kingdom, Dardanos was a stranger in a foreign land. Yet, fortune favored him. He was welcomed by King Teucer, the wise and just ruler of the Teucrians, who saw promise in the young man's noble bearing and recognized the spark of divinity in his lineage. Teucer offered Dardanos not only shelter, but also friendship, and a place among his people. Rather than seeking conquest or power, Dardanos brought with him the gifts of knowledge, wisdom, and a spirit of cooperation. He shared stories of distant lands, and the lessons he had learned from his trials, inspiring the Teucrians to look beyond their borders and embrace new ideas. In turn, he listened to their traditions, learning the ways of their ancestors and the secrets of their land. The people of Phrygia, humble and close to the earth, saw Dardanos' arrival as a sign of favor from the gods. They welcomed him into their homes and hearts, believing that his survival was a miracle, and that he was destined to play a great role in their future. Together, they celebrated the renewal of life after the flood, forging bonds that would endure for generations. United by shared hardship and hope, Dardanos and the Teucrians worked side by side to rebuild what had been lost. They constructed new homes, tilled the fertile soil, and laid the foundations for a thriving community. Through cooperation and mutual respect, they transformed disaster into opportunity, creating a society stronger than before. Dardanos learned from the Teucrians and they from him, blending old traditions with new ideas. This cultural exchange enriched both peoples as ancient customs merged with fresh perspectives, and a new identity began to take shape, one that honored the past while looking boldly to the future. This partnership marked a true beginning, a foundation for greatness. The unity between Dardanos and the Teucrians became the cornerstone upon which legends would be built, and their shared vision set the stage for the rise of a mighty civilization. The flood, though an ending for many, became a new chapter for Dardanos and his adopted people. From the ruins of the old world, they nurtured the seeds of hope, resilience and renewal, proving that even in the darkest times, new life can emerge. The seeds of Troy were planted not with stone, but with unity and shared purpose. It was through the collective effort and dreams of these early settlers that the foundations of a legendary city were laid, destined to echo through the ages. From this union, a saga of heroes and gods would unfold. The story of Dardanos and the Teucrians would inspire generations, as mortals and immortals alike shaped the destiny of a land that would one day be called Troy. The promise of a future city began here, in the aftermath of disaster. Every stone laid, every field sown, was a testament to the enduring spirit of those who refused to be defeated by fate. Dardanos' journey was the first step toward the legendary city of Troy. His courage, resilience, and vision set in motion a chain of events that would shape the course of history and myth alike. And so, from the waters of the great flood and the union of two peoples, the epic of Troy had begun, a story of hope rising from ruin, and of greatness born from humble beginnings. King Teucer's generosity was legendary, extending far beyond the expected bounds of hospitality in the ancient world. When Dardanos, a prince of divine descent, arrived as a guest, Teucer welcomed him, not only with open arms, but with a vision for the future. He saw in Dardanos a kindred spirit, someone who could help shape a new destiny for his people. To seal this alliance, Teucer offered his beloved daughter Batea in marriage to Dardanos. Their union was more than a personal bond, it was a merging of two powerful lineages, blending the wisdom and traditions of the Teucrians with the divine heritage of Dardanos. This marriage forged a new dynasty, uniting gods and mortals, and set the stage for a powerful legacy. The people celebrated, hopeful for a future shaped by unity and strength. Inspired by his new beginnings, Dardanos founded a city atop a commanding hill, naming it Dardania. This city would become the heart of his people, a beacon of hope and ambition. Dardania stood as a symbol of a new era, where Teucrian wisdom blended seamlessly with Dardanos' vision and courage. The city's walls rose, and its influence began to spread across the land. Under their joint rule, the region flourished. Fields yielded abundant harvests, marketplaces bustled with trade, and peace and prosperity took root in the hearts of the people. When King Teucer passed away, Dardanos inherited the kingdom, uniting the Teucrians and his own followers into a single powerful nation. The people looked to him for guidance, and he did not disappoint. Dardanos ruled with wisdom and justice, honoring his father-in-law's legacy while forging a stronger, more unified realm. He listened to his counsel, respected tradition, and inspired loyalty among his subjects. Under his leadership, Dardania grew in size and influence. New buildings rose, the city expanded, and its reputation spread far beyond its borders, setting the stage for even greater achievements to come. The foundation was laid for a city and a civilization that would echo through eternity, remembered in legend and history alike. The legacy of Dardanos was secure. His descendants would carry his vision forward, shaping the destiny of generations yet to come. And so, with the founding of Dardania, the stage was set for the rise of Troy, a city whose story was only just beginning, ready for its next epic chapter. Dardanos' line continued through his son Erichthonius and grandson Tros, who gave his name to the Trojans. Tros' reign unified the people and expanded the kingdom's reach. His son Ganymede was taken by Zeus to Olympus, compensated by immortal horses. The royal line continued through Elos, who dreamed of a new city on the fertile plain. Elos sought divine guidance, determined to build a capital worthy of the Trojan name. The destiny of the Trojans would hinge on Elos' ambition and the will of the gods. The search for a new home began. Elos traveled to Phrygia, where he won a wrestling contest and received a unique prize, a spotted cow and a prophecy. The oracle instructed Elos to follow the cow and build his city where it lay down. Elos obeyed, letting the cow lead him across the land. Eventually the cow rested on the Hill of Eight, a place of ancient significance. Elos recognized this as the divinely chosen site for his new city. The location was ideal, fertile, defensible, and close to trade routes. Here, Elos began building a city named Ilios, later known as Troy. The prophecy was fulfilled and the foundation of Troy was set. The city's destiny was now tied to the will of the gods. Elos' faith and patience had been rewarded. The legendary city began to rise. Seeking confirmation from the gods, Elos prayed to Zeus for a sign. The next morning he discovered the Palladium, a wooden statue of Athena, fallen from the sky. This divine gift promised protection for Troy as long as it remained within the city. Elos built a sacred temple to house the Palladium, making it the holiest site in Troy. The Trojans believed their city was invincible while the statue was safe. The Palladium became the heart of Trojan identity and pride. Its presence was a constant reminder of divine favor and responsibility. The fate of Troy was now bound to this sacred relic. The city's security depended on the honor and vigilance of its people. The legend of the Palladium would echo through generations. Elos' son Laomedon inherited Troy and set out to fortify it with walls no army could breach. Apollo and Poseidon, disguised as mortals, offered to build the walls in exchange for payment. Using divine power they raised seamless towering fortifications, an engineering marvel. The city's defenses became legendary, unmatched in the ancient world. Laomedon's pride grew as the walls rose, believing Troy was now untouchable. The completion of the walls marked a new era of power and prestige. But the king's character would soon be tested by the very gods who built his city. The fate of Troy would hinge not on stone, but on the honor of its ruler. The seeds of future disaster were sown in Laomedon's pride. The city's greatest strength concealed its greatest vulnerability. When the walls were finished, Apollo and Poseidon demanded their promised payment. Laomedon, arrogant and greedy, refused, breaking his oath to the gods. Enraged, the gods revealed themselves and unleashed vengeance on Troy. Poseidon sent a sea monster to ravage the coast, while Apollo struck the city with plague. The Trojans suffered, trapped between the monster outside and disease within. Desperate, Laomedon consulted an oracle, who decreed that only the sacrifice of his daughter Hesione could save the city. The king was forced to choose between his daughter's life and Troy's destruction. Laomedon's broken promise had brought ruin upon his people. The city's invincible walls could not protect it from divine wrath. The fate of Troy now hung by a thread. The cost of hubris was about to be paid. The gods' judgment was swift and merciless. As Hesione awaited her fate, Heracles arrived and offered to save her in exchange for the immortal horses of Troy. Laomedon agreed, and Heracles slew the sea monster, rescuing Hesione and the city. But once again Laomedon broke his word, refusing Heracles his reward. Furious, Heracles vowed revenge and later returned with an army. The Greeks breached Troy's walls, sacked the city, and killed Laomedon and his sons, except for the youngest, Podarces. Hesione ransomed her brother with her golden veil, and he was renamed Priam, the ransomed one. Heracles placed Priam on the throne of a ruined Troy. The city's fall was not due to weak walls but to a king's dishonor. Troy's future now rested on Priam's shoulders. The cycle of rise and ruin continued. Priam, the ransomed king, rebuilt Troy from ruins, restoring its glory and prosperity. With determination and vision, he transformed the shattered remnants of the city into a beacon of hope, inspiring his people to believe in a brighter future. The echoes of past destruction faded as new walls rose, stronger and grander than before. Under his wise rule, the city flourished, becoming a center of wealth, culture, and power. Merchants from distant lands filled Troy's markets with exotic goods, while artists and poets found patronage in its thriving courts. The city's streets bustled with life, and its reputation spread far beyond its walls, drawing admiration and envy alike. Priam's family was large and illustrious, including Hector and Cassandra. His sons and daughters were celebrated for their beauty, wisdom, and valor, each playing a role in the city's destiny. The royal household was a symbol of unity and strength, admired by the people and respected by allies. For a time, Troy enjoyed a golden age, its past betrayals seemingly forgotten. Festivals lit the city with joy, and peace reigned in its streets. The people of Troy believed their prosperity would last forever, sheltered by strong walls and the favor of the gods. Yet the city's fate remained tied to the will of the gods and the actions of its rulers. Priam often sought guidance from the temples, aware that divine favor could be as fleeting as mortal fortune. The gods watched over Troy, but their blessings came with expectations and demands. The seeds of the Trojan War were sown during this peace, destined to erupt through the choices of Priam's son Paris. In the shadows of the palace, ambitions and secrets grew, setting the stage for conflict. The harmony of Troy masked the tensions that would soon tear it apart. Troy's rise was built on divine favor, but its fall would come from within. The city's strength became its weakness, as pride and hidden resentments festered beneath the surface. Even the gods, once protectors, would turn their gaze elsewhere. The story of Troy is a lesson in honor, fate, and the limits of human power. It reminds us that greatness is fragile, and that the choices of a few can shape the destiny of many. Wisdom, courage, and humility are as vital as strength in the face of fate. Even the mightiest city can fall to broken promises and pride. The ruins of Troy stand as a silent testament to the dangers of arrogance and the cost of forgotten oaths. The legend of Troy endures, a warning and a wonder for all time, echoing through the ages as both a cautionary tale and a celebration of human ambition and resilience.